Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Saturday episode podcast. What's going on? How you guys doing? So before I kind of get into the rhythm of everything, I just figured I'd give some time for people to kind of come in. So off jump, for members of the channel, there's going to be a members only live stream tonight. So you guys don't want to miss that. And if you're not a member, that's totally fine. Real easy to become one. It's like, I think the first tier is like 99 cents. I still haven't gotten to it into reorganizing the tiers, but there's only going to be one tier, 99 cents. So, oh no, you're going to lunch. I'm so sorry. You should have just texted me that what time you're going to lunch, and I could have just kind of held off, babe. Oh, I feel so bad. What's up, Chad? What's going on? Gene, welcome. Good morning to you, sir. Yeah, so as you can see, usually I'm sitting down for podcasts, and I didn't want to do that, so I figured I'd stand, to be a little bit more active. And yeah, so we got a few things to talk about. I'm gonna be talking about the Revvl V plus 5G, my experiences with it, which kind of like correlates with Google's got me spoiled. You weren't sure, babe? I mean, you can hang out with me here on the live stream. Yeah, it correlates with me being spoiled by Google Pixels, and I'll tell the reasons why. I am going to be talking about the Pixel 6a, a little bit more about that, my excitement for it. It's coming up here really soon. I mean, yeah, 26 more days until you can officially buy the Pixel 6a. So it's, we're at the countdown of less than 30 days, less than a month for the Pixel 6a. We'll be talking about that. I'm going to tell you guys my experience at a Metro store. Shout out to my babe here, who she was the reason why I was able to get the Revvl V plus 5G. She completely opened an account in her name, even though we have a Metro family plan together, just so that we can get it at $0 cost. I mean, you still got to pay the taxes for the phone, but I mean, you just can't avoid taxes. But yeah, we're gonna dive right into it. The members only live stream later on tonight or this evening. Basically, it's going to be like a free form, open topic thing. So those who are members that join the members only live stream later on this evening, have some topics you want to kind of just like throw in there. This is your chance to really kind of get me to talk about the things you want to talk about. You're gonna go find some food, babe? Okay. Well, please come back in though and hang out with me on this. Really would love to have you here too, especially to give your thoughts, because you are a Pixel user. Yeah, well, she's been an avid user of the A series. She's used the Pixel A series more than I have. So when we get into the Pixel 6a topic later on, we'll kind of talk a little bit more about that. And yeah, so all right, let me just kind of open this up and let's talk about the Revvl V plus 5G. Okay, so 2 days now going on with this phone, and yeah, I like that little thing it does. It's actually not bad of a phone, but I think the reason why that I'm saying it's not that bad of a phone is because it's something different than my usual Google Pixel phones, right? All Google Pixel phones have a different body design, except for the 4 and the 5. They have very similar. However, the user interface is pretty much about the same if they all are running the latest version of Android, right? So at times I use the Pixel 2 XL because it's Android 11. So the user interface is slightly a little bit different, but it still has like the same characteristics. If that makes any sense to anybody who, uses smartphones and can kind of see, that a particular smartphone has a characteristic when you're using it and whatnot, right? So I was just like, okay, I was figuring that, because it was Android, is going to have the same characteristics, and it actually doesn't. All right. So currently right now, the way that I have it set up, I have the Nothing launcher on here. If you guys heard about the Nothing phone from Carl Pei, then you guys are pretty much well aware that there's a launcher you can put on your Android device that will kind of give you an idea of the look and feel. Now, everything on this screen is not all to the Nothing launcher. The icons themselves, I'm using a icon pack called Delta, which is something that I haven't used in a while, so I guess that was a little bit refreshing to do that, to be able to download an icon pack from the Google Play Store and then install it on a device was actually really nice. So kind of like switched it up just a little bit. Do you get fast charging on yours? Mine says 2 to 3 hours while using it. So it uses an 18-watt charger, and for the size battery that this has, I believe it's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. You're looking at about a 2-hour charge time to get it completely fully charged. The cool thing about the Revvl V Plus is that it really does have beyond a day's battery life. And I was like, the first day I was using it, I was expecting it to have a like some push on the battery, just because it was the first boot, the first time using, so a lot of things were still trying to get configured, and therefore I was expecting the battery to not be all that great. But it was kind of funny because at about, I would say about 7 hours of usage, about 7 hours of usage from 100%, it dropped to 64%. In 7 hours, gave me 4.5 hours of screen on time, and I still had 64% battery left. I hadn't let the battery get all the way down to 20%, which is what I'm doing today. Today, I'm not going to throw it on the charger at all after I took it off this morning. So I'm going to use it, and I'm going to see exactly how the battery is going to play out now that it's day number 2 with it. I didn't know Nothing Launcher was available to all phones. Yeah, it's in the Google Play Store. Just search for Nothing Launcher. It's a Nothing Launcher beta. I'll probably see, because I know that one thing about the Google Play Store. I mean, it's Android's it's Android's app store. I get it, and you can't really go without it on an Android device. But the problem that sucks with it is that there's just too many developers that create things so close to it. So there it is right there, Nothing Launcher beta. You should see that icon, and that is the Nothing Launcher. I mean, see, there's like Nothing Launcher, and then there's an app for their earbuds. And I don't know who developed this, but this is, I guess, widgets for the Nothing Launcher, and I think it's third-party developed. It's still really hard to tell. So, but yeah, the Nothing Launcher, that's what it looks like. The 2 widgets right there are from the Nothing Launcher itself, so it has that dotted time, and you can see it's kind of cut out at the bottom. That's pretty bad right there. And no matter how big of the widget I make it, it still gets cut out. But that's literally what it looks like. So I can kind of tell it's 1125. And then you get like the weather. The weather one I think is like really good. Gene, have you ever heard of the Nothing phone, which is a pretty hot topic right now because it's a phone that looks very similar to the iPhone, right? The design and everything like that. The back of the phone is clear. You see like a protective board plate that protects the inside of the phone, and it's got lights around like the camera and around certain areas. So more than likely it is, which is the reason why I'm saying, like, it's not fitted for a larger display such as that, right? The Revvl V Plus, I think, is like a 6.7 inch or 6.8 inch display. So it could be that. It could be the aspect ratio, because the aspect ratio is going to be obviously a lot different than other devices. I mean, yeah, so that's the launcher for the phone. If you've heard of the Nothing phone, the Nothing Launcher is the launcher for the phone. This is Carl Pei's launcher for his Nothing OS, which is basically their skinned UI on top of Android. But do not count the icons. The icons that you see on my display, that is from a third-party developer called Delta, and it's called the Delta Pack. And with the Nothing Launcher, the reason why I'm talking about it is because you can install third-party icon packs. Hey, what's up? Dang, Nian, what's up, man? What's going on, dude? So, back to the Revvl V Plus 5G. So, being able to do stuff like that just kind of was like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? It's not a massive not a massive thing about it, right? It's not groundbreaking. It's not universal changing, right? It's just being able to install a third-party icon pack. But that's something that you cannot do on Google Pixels. You cannot install third-party icon packs, which is still something I still want for Google Pixels, right? The most that they've given us is that with Android 12 and into Android 13, you can theme the icons, and that's pretty much it. But it does not allow you to bond a third-party icon pack to the Pixel Experience Launcher. And that's something that I really want Google to do, is to open up that doorway and allow us to use, because there is a ton of third-party icon packs that I think is like absolutely superly awesome and would really, really love to be able to use on my Google Pixel phones without needing to install another launcher. Why wouldn't I just install a third-party launcher to use these icon packs on the Google Pixels? Because when you do that, there are certain features that are baked in the core of the stock launcher on Google Pixels that when you move off to something else, you will lose that. So it's like you have to pick which one you want, which one matters more to you. And to me, functionality is always going to outweigh look and feel. So if I lose functionality of something, then I'm definitely, nah, it's not worth it. So with that being said, that's the reason why I don't really use third-party launchers on my Google Pixel phones. But if the stock launcher on Pixels would allow you to use third-party icon packs, that would be so amazing. The Delta pack is one of my favorite ones. It's very minimalistic. It's just got this look and vibe to it that I'm just like, yeah, that's what I want. Definitely want that on my phone, and I'm getting it. So. The second part about the Revvl V Plus 5G is that it's not well supported. So it also kind of like, if you haven't noticed, I am killing two birds with one stone. I am doing the Google Pixels Got Me Spoiled and the Revvl V Plus 5G together as one topic to discuss, by the way. But like I was saying, there's not software support to even go like what is on the Google Pixel phones, right? Well, with this one, it is still running Android 11. And I know this phone is about to be a year old. It was released of July of last year. And it was right on the cusp of Android 12. And it never got updated, even until today, to Android 12. And so that's the downside to it, is that it's still running an outdated software version of Android. What's up, B-Tech? What's going on? The look and feel of Android 11 is not something that I weigh the purpose of the software. It's what comes in the software. And even though Android 11 looking great and having those said things that are coming to future Android devices are the thing that it's missing out on. Okay, there's going to be certain things on Android that Android 12 and Android 13 users are going to be able to, utilize that you're not going to be able to utilize on something that's running Android 11. That's my biggest problem on it, right? Like, for instance, the ability to know when your camera and your microphone is on. That is an Android 12 software thing. That's not something that is in Android 11. And that's something that's pretty cool, right? And I was happy when that came to Android, because iOS has always had it, right? With the iPhones, when you use something that's using the camera, you get a little light indicator that tells you your camera is on. We don't have that with Android 11. So the look and feel of it, you can always try to make the look and feel of it that way. Getting a custom ROM would probably be the only thing that I could do to the Revvl V Plus 5G in order to modernize it. Do you think it will get Android 12? I don't think so. The core manufacturer for the Revvl V Plus 5G, and basically the Revvl devices has been currently until this day, has been TCL. And I don't know TCL's track record with software updates to their devices, but I'm going to say it's going to fall along the lines with other manufacturers that pretty much don't really focus on upgrading the software on their hardware, but focus on just releasing new hardware with new software. So I don't think this will get Android 12. The last update it got was the day that we got the phone. I turned it on, and there was a security patch update, which was like 38 megabytes, and that was the only one. Hey, babe, what'd you find to eat, babe? So with that being said, yeah, I don't see this going up to Android 12 at all whatsoever. So that's a big bummer. It really is. The experience wise, it's not a bad phone at all whatsoever. There are stuff that I'm going to be nitpicking, like I said, because I'm spoiled to Google Pixels, right? This, I'll tell you, there is two parts to that. Okay. This is a solid phone, and we know it to be a flagship phone, and has tons of features that's AI baked with the Tensor chip. And then there's other things that are just, Android related that's actually super cool and super awesome, right? And this is a budget phone. This is not a flagship, okay? But the funny thing about it is that I don't feel hindered by the performance that I get out of the Revvl V Plus 5G to my Pixel 6, crazy enough as is. And I know somebody will probably make a joke and be like, well, it's because the Tensor chip is shitty. And I really don't want to hear that. You can take your ball and go sit in your corner. The Pixel 6 is a very powerful phone. I know this because I put it through a lot of its paces. I use it for work and everything like that. And the things that I wanted to do from work, it is handling it just fine. Stuff that I feel like that most phones that are not powerful would fall under the pressure. And I'm actually going to try that out. I'm going to go back to work next week, taking this with me to kind of, just like run it through whatever I can and see just how well it performs. But the performance on the Revvl V Plus 5G is not a way off base from my Google Pixel 6. And it's not going to be something I would say is a super way off base from the Pixel 6 Pro. So that is a very good thing for a budget device to pretty much feel smooth as heck, because I thought this wasn't going to be the smoothest experience because it is running a MediaTek processor, and MediaTek processors and me don't go hand in hand. I tend to really gripe at just how some of the things that processor cannot handle just irks the hell out of me. However, it's chugging along just fine. Are you disappointed it doesn't have a 90 hertz or 120 hertz screen? No, I'm not one of those that is super focused on 90 hertz refresh or 120 hertz refresh, right? The refresh is not something that makes or breaks a phone for me. It really is not. And I'm not dissing anybody that makes it a sole purpose that a phone is good if it has 90 hertz refresh or 120 hertz refresh. I get it. Everybody is different in their own way, to each their own. And everybody basically just wants to, have what they want to have for the money that they spend. And that is their right to, you know what I mean? For me, I would tell people who would try to convince me that a certain phone is not good because of the refresh rate, can just stop in their dead tracks, because that's not something I look for in a phone. All right. How the screen moves when I'm swiping up and down doesn't kill me at 60 hertz. And I've turned on 90 hertz on my Pixel 6. I've turned on 90 hertz on my Pixel 5. I've turned 90 hertz on my Pixel 4. Okay. I see the smoothness when I'm playing Pokemon Go. I'm not going to deny that you can see a difference. And with 120 hertz refresh rate on phones that I played around with at Best Buy that have it, I've seen just how much more smoother that is from 90. I get the smoothness that people are craving when they are maneuvering through the user interface, but it's not something that I am dependent on. Okay. Functionality is the most important thing to me. The user experience with the user interface is what's really important to me. And while the refresh rate is part of the user experience, it's not something I would classify as a must-have, because you can still use your smartphone without having an upgraded 90 hertz or an even upgraded 120 hertz refresh rate. But that's just me. Is it 5G, and do you get on the 5G UC? Yes. The Revvl, it's in the name, Gene. Revvl V Plus 5G. It's going to be 5G. I'm going to throw a 5G tag on a phone that doesn't access 5G. Does it access the ultra capacity? Well, yes, it does access N41. Ultra capacity is the name that T-Mobile came up with for their 2.5 gigahertz spectrum. That spectrum has always been there before the phrase ultra capacity was ever released. So if you want to know if a phone is ultra capacitive on T-Mobile's network, just look at the band support that it has. And if it has N41 and if it has N71, it is in fact supported. So even devices like the Pixel 5, I would put my Metro SIM in the Pixel 5 and it didn't have the UC icon. To me, that's just like how AT&T has the 5GE icon, which is, It's not a big deal. It's not something that you will say, yeah, you do have it. You know, I mean, it does give you an indicator that you're on that. You know, you have connection to that, but it doesn't mean that if you don't have it, you're not connected to it. You are connected to it if you are able to connect to N41 and N71. N41 really is the main culprit of ultra capacity. That is the high part of the low band of 5G, 2.5 gigahertz. Did you ever get the phone? Did you ever get the phone when you asked us which one was better? No, I did not pick up a Pixel 4 or the 4A 5G. I haven't picked those two phones up yet. I'm going to wait a little bit later on just because the 6A is around the corner, and I am in fact wanting to get that sometime, maybe mid or late August. So that's going to be a $449 phone. Unless I go through a different method, like if I bring myself back to Revvl V and hop on their 2-year subscription, then I would, get the 6A that way. If not, I'm going to be paying out the pocket full price for it, unless I have some sort of deal. So the 4 and the 4A 5G, they have to wait a little bit longer down the road. I still haven't picked up the Nexus 9 tablet from a seller that I found online. I'm kind of debating on that. Well, I would love to get the Nexus 9 tablet, because it is part of the Nexus Pixel history. At the same time, too, I'm not in a rush to get it right now because there's not really much functionality out of it that I'm going to be using with the Nexus 9. So I'm not, I'm just not going to get it just yet. And if the guy sells it to somebody else, that's totally fine. I'm sure I'll find somebody in the future that's going to put theirs up for sale. I'll be able to buy it for nostalgic purposes. My intentions of a lot of these older devices, especially the ones that are no longer supported, is to put them in, either get like a case from IKEA. I just put them in there so that when I move into a bigger place, I have them. I can probably put them in like in the background for a back shot item for people to see in videos and in live streams. That's really what's going to happen. It's just, basically like as a collector of things, right? Like I have my Funko Pops behind the laptop and I collect Funko Pops, which later on I have to go into the Funko app and start scanning each one that I have. So I have my digital version online of them. But anyways, yeah. So a couple of things that I would want people to know is downside speaker. You have your earpiece on the top. You have a bottom firing speaker that doubles up as a microphone. Nope, there's an individual microphone right there next to the headphone jack. The problem with that is that, okay, so like sound is fine, but it's a squawk box. It's a squawk box with bass, if that makes any sense. Like you can hear that there's bass in any audio that you're listening to on the Revvl V Plus 5G. You can hear bass, but it sounds like it's like trapped inside a hollow can. I'll give you guys a better analogy. Back when I was growing up, like sound systems in the cars were like the in thing. Everyone was trying to install like kicker solo barracks. They were trying to install JBLs. So there was like various different audio companies that you would buy, like either 12-inch subwoofers, and you would do your setup, right? You would get like I had like a Rockford Fosgate. I want to say 25,000 amps. Yeah, but it was from Rockford Fosgate. I had 3 capacitors to kind of help push the speakers and not like do wear and tear on the alternator and on the battery, right? Because the main line ran to the alternator and the secondary line ran to the battery from my amp, which pushed my sound system. And the reason for that is when the car was on, it would draw power from the alternator, which the alternator's purpose was to power electricity in your vehicle and recharge your battery as the vehicle is on and the motor is running, right? So it also would power my amp. But to make sure that the electricity wasn't overloading onto the alternator, I had 3 capacitors that pretty much took up the load, right? Capacitors are like mini batteries, right? So like they're charged, they have enough juice in them. So the amp draws power from the capacitors first, and as the capacitors are drawing power from the alternator, so it's just kind of going in. Reason I'm talking about that is that I kind of went #ADHD problems. If you found that funny, I just went completely solely off topic into a different subject. However, okay, so when I was a kid, I was fascinated with audio technology. That I used to take speakers that my older sister's boyfriend, because he had a sound system in his car, and he would always upgrade it. He would take the speakers out that he bought. They were aftermarket speakers, like from Kenwood or whatever. And I would try to build my own speaker box with them, right? And I would do a fairly decent job and hook up my Okay, it says that the live stream cut out. Hopefully it didn't, but it says it did. But like I was saying, my older sister's ex-boyfriend was in the sound systems in his car. He's always upgrading it. So I would take the speakers that he would take out when he bought new ones, and I would build speaker boxes for them and mount them on there and connect it to my boom box. And so that's how the audio from this sounds. Not the vibration of the bass that you can feel, but because I did a very, very piss poor job building a speaker box. And so it would sound like there was a speaker inside of a hollow box that was kicking sound. And that's what this sounds like. At high volume, it sounds like that. If you have it like a 80% volume, 75% volume, 60% volume, it's fine. Again, my phone to go to for the best audio is going to be the Pixel 4 or the 4XL. Those just have phenomenal bass, great treble, it's very punchy. Oh, okay. Thanks, Gene, for clarifying. Because like on my, you know how Restream works. On my dashboard in Restream, the little yellow bar popped up that says Restream is having connection problems. I was like, oh crap, Anywho, so that's what the audio sounds like on the Revvl V Plus 5G. Not a big, huge deal breaker, but I mean, if audio is something that you're focused on with your smartphones, you're probably going to be disappointed in this one. Good thing about it is the build of it. It's a brick. It's rectangle flat edges, so it makes for a comfortable hold. This is one of those phones where I'm like, people are like, hey, it's got bezels on it. I actually would have preferred thicker bezels, so like the fat of my thumb is not touching the screen doing miss punches, because it does that a lot. Even though it is a very grippy phone and it's got those flat side rails, yeah. This phone feels very much close to the Celero 5G, the way that I was like talking about the back. And I always thought the back was plastic. I believe this is plastic though. So I'm not worried about having to put a case on it immediately, because if it's plastic and it drops, it may scratch, it may scuffle, it may crack. I can see your comments. Okay, babe. Not too long till you're off, and I love you. Get home safe. When you drive home, call me. So, so far the phone is fine, right? If I'm gonna scale it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the absolute best experience I've had, the Revvl V Plus 5G is hitting about a 7 right now. Battery life, it'll hit a 10. Camera quality is a hit or miss. Fluidity of the software, so we'll go into this in order. Let's talk about the fluidity of the software. Okay, I have no problems there whatsoever, right? The user interface and the MediaTek processor seems to be pushing things as I'm doing them. So I'm not seeing any jank or jitter, which I haven't used that terminology in a while, and that's because I've been using Pixels and I don't feel that with those phones either. So it's been a long time since I've used a phone that's kind of like that. So no, the fluidity is good. It's thumbs up on that. I'll throw that at a 10. Battery life, I'll throw that at a 10. I'll give you a more in-depth tomorrow with a video, because I'm going to be running it completely off charge today, all day, and see if I make it into tomorrow, and how far into tomorrow do I make it. So that will come in a video tomorrow. Camera quality is a hit or miss. I'll kind of get into that. Use a third-party messages app. The default one makes picture turn out blurry. Gotcha. Thank you for the tip on that. And actually, with it, I'm using Google Messages. So even though they have their own native messenger app, I like to use Google Messages. It's just my Pixels all have it stocked in it, so I might as well use what they're using, and it just makes the integration of RCS so much easier. Camera quality is a hit or miss. So the first video that I posted yesterday from it, and it was like all dark and fuzzy. So this is the exact same way that my room was lit, right? I had this lamp right here just to kind of give it a little bit of light, as there's only one window in this room, and I have the shades closed because it's hot outside. So with this old Chromebook I'm using to do the live stream, you guys can see me pretty well on it. And I was figuring a 16 megapixel front firing sensor would do the same as this, and it didn't. It was very dark. It made me look like this, right? This is what I got from the selfie cam indoor on a day like this. When I went outside, the shorts that I uploaded from taking video outside was a lot better. And I did another short after me and my babe, we got done basically eating at a Philly cheesesteak restaurant. We were leaving, and I recorded from the back camera and did a short. So the live stream today will probably be done from this phone. I'll probably do it for the members only live stream this evening. So the camera's like hit or miss, because there are certain things that do happen. Like when I was taking photos, I forgot. I totally watched yesterday. I forgot to take the phone with me to Smackdown. I was going to take it to Smackdown and take some photos and take some videos during the Smackdown event, and ended up only bringing my Pixel 6 and recording all those short clips on Instagram from this phone, and I was kind of pissed. The Revvl 5G phone I have has the Snapdragon 765G. Yeah, your phone is the one I'm looking for. I am looking to get one of those too, because it has the 765G Qualcomm chip. This Revvl V plus 5G runs a MediaTek processor, so that's the only downside to it. How is Smackdown? I'll get into it a little bit later. It was actually pretty good, but I'll get into it a little bit later. Yeah, so I am on the hunt for the Revvl 5G, like that one, the one that you have, Mike. I'm looking for that one. I'm going to buy one. I did see one for like $60 on OfferUp, so I might check that person out to make sure the phone is legit. You'll give me a good deal once it's paid off. Well, you're still paying on it, bro. Yeah. So there's a couple of things I got to do. One of my tests to do when I meet up with somebody on OfferUp who's selling me a phone is we're going to quickly test if I can pop a SIM card into it, right? So if not really pop my SIM card into it, but if, yeah, you can't go that low. Yeah, you can't go that low, bro. But like when I go into my Metro app and I plug in the IMEI, it'll tell me if the phone is able to be activated. Yeah, it'll tell me if it'll be able to be activated. If it's blacklisted for any reason, it will tell me it's blacklisted. So if the phone's legit, cameras are working, everything seems fine on it, the person's selling it for $60, then yeah, I'll grab it. If not, no, then not. Thanks for the awesome live stream. All right, man. If you got a dip, you got a dip, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, I owe like 50 on it. That's funny, man. Yeah, because I know that phone was quite pricey when it came out, for it being, T-Mobile's brand phone, Revvl. So I'm like wondering why this person's selling it for 60, because everybody else that I find on offer that's selling it is selling it for like 150, 160, 140, or like one person has like several of them brand new in like her store. She runs a mobile cell phone store in the city, and she does post on OfferUp to get people to come in, and they're selling theirs brand new $199. You're currently watching on the Pixel 6 Pro. So, in closing for the Revvl V plus 5G, it's not that bad of a phone. If your expectations is looking for a flagship, then go buy a flagship, okay? If your expectations is looking for a decent phone at a decent price, then this phone can do it. If you're not, up on the I gotta have the latest version of Android, this phone will do it for you. The cameras are okay. The cameras are fine, especially with good lighting. Probably in the next couple days, I may head, to a spot that has like some nice scenery and snap some photos during the day going into the night, so you guys get a balanced comparison of day and night shots and how they go. But since getting this phone and using it has made me realize I am superly spoiled to the Google Pixel phones. A lot of the things that this phone does, feature packs that it's given to it, and only it, now has me realizing and appreciating just being able to own a Google Pixel phone. Like at the very beginning with the Google Nexus phones, like I was that guy that was like window shopping. I was always going to the websites. I was always looking at the phone, looking at the different photos and making the phone rotate to get like a rotational view of it. I was that guy. I was that nerd. Could I afford it? Hell no. I was in such rough situations, damn near, 15 years ago, that I didn't have that kind of money to go and drop. And back then, flagship phones were like $400 or $500, right? I didn't have $400 or $500 to drop on a phone. So for the longest time, I literally was just like the guy on the outside looking in. Like, I was making my review videos of the Samsung Intercept and the different ROMs you could put on that, or on the Galaxy S2 Epic 4G Touch, and that you can put different ROMs on that. Like, really, and I look back at those times, it was very nostalgic for me. Very, very, very nostalgic for me, because it was so long ago where it was like, I would buy one phone around tax time, right? The best phone that I can get once I got my tax refund. And then just do countless videos for an entire year on this channel on that phone. And if I was lucky enough to pick up a second phone somehow, I would do that. That was the days of Virgin Mobile. So if you go back on my channel and look at all the Virgin Mobile videos, you're going to see a lot of videos dedicated to like a specific phone for a good length of time. It was never like how it was when things started to get better for me and my family, and I was switched over to Boost Mobile. And then I was like buying like Boost Mobile phones like every month, every 2 months, and unboxing and reviewing them. So yes, the good old days, which you and I, me and Mike are actually going to be doing a live stream, maybe tomorrow. We'll do a live stream together, and we're actually going to talk about the old days of me and him, and what we were doing on those times making videos. Because if you guys never knew this, B-Tech Reviews, before he changed his name to B-Tech Reviews, which he just shortened his name, he was just Budget Tech Reviews, he ran concurrent with my channel all these years, and we were like getting similar phones. He was getting more phones than me, but we were like doing unboxing and stuff like that. And it was never like a competition to destroy each other's channels, because I was a big fan of his channel, and I didn't know he was watching my channel. He was. And so like we had this unspoken mutual camaraderie here on YouTube, and it continues till today. So we are going to do a live stream. I still haven't worked out the details if we're doing it on his channel, if he wants to do it on my channel. But we are going to go into a nostalgic realm of the early days of YouTube for us and what it was like, kind of share our experiences, and maybe pull up some of our old videos and kind of react to them, I think is the idea that I want to do. So I'll get at you at that a little bit later. I remember going out to BB and Target and Walmart like weekly to find new devices. Yeah, I was doing the same thing, man. I was hitting Walmarts. I was hitting Walmarts and Boost Mobile stores. Cringe time. Yeah, so you guys, if you guys don't want to miss that, tomorrow I'll put out a tweet exactly what time we're going to go live, so you guys will know, and I'll do it several hours before the event so everyone has time. Just send your DM, okay. And yeah, and in that way you guys can enjoy our perspective of being content creators on this for over a decade. We've seen a lot of changes. No, there's not a lot of bloatware on the phone. I got the phone from Metro instead of T-Mobile. So there is bloatware, but it's just 3 Metro apps that are on there that cannot be uninstalled, but you can disable them. So yeah, but anyways, point that I'm going down the nostalgic path really quickly is because I've never had the top end Google phones. Never had them. So to have them now and to be able to use them is awesome. And I've been solely stuck using, well, I don't want to say stuck, that's such a negative word. I've been solely dedicated into using Google Pixel phones because I absolutely like them. I can give 2 flying you-know-what to anyone that's going to trash me because I won't pick up a Samsung or won't go Motorola anymore. My preference, right? You know what? Call me a fanboy, call me a Pixel sheep. I don't really care. I like using Google Pixel phones, and I've been using them. I've been using them for years now. They have always been the ones in my pocket. And I've always tried my hardest to get the latest one that comes out. And I'm not able to get it at the same time everybody else does. And I sure as hell can't get it at the same time that Team Pixel members do, because obviously it's given to them from Google. But I try my best to catch up on those things and get what I can get so I can review it for people who want to hear my perspective on it. And you know what? Google Pixel has accounted for a massive amount of my channel growth. It really has. The two main topics I know for a fact are the most viable topics here on my channel is Google Pixel News or Google News, and then prepaid mobile carriers. Right? Any other video I do maybe will get 50 views or less. But if I'm doing a Google Pixel phone, it gets over 100. If I'm doing mobile carrier news, it gets over 100. Every now and then, I'll strike what I call bronze. Like striking a diamond would be if I had a viral video that went like 1 million views, right? If it went like, over 5,000 views, I call that striking gold. If it hit over 1,000 views, striking silver. And if it hit over 100, it's striking bronze. And like most recently, I did a review video covering the Pixel 4 that hit over 500 views, and I'm very happy for that. And yeah, so I hit bronze. It's on its way to hitting silver. In my book, that's my scale of how I scale my videos, and they account for that massively. They do. They account for a lot of the views. I mean, it's obvious, right? There are people who know that there are people who still question Mark and Team Pixel as of why I've never been found or never been reviewed. Maybe they did review me. They just didn't like the way that I did my content, or maybe just my engagement is not enough for what they need to market the Google Pixel phone. There's a reason why I never got accepted. Like a lot of these things I do think about, but it's not something that breaks my spirit. One day I may get an answer as to why I haven't been, or maybe one day I will get selected to be a part of, right? But there's people who still recommend me to it, and I'm always appreciative when I see that. I know Mike has done it. B-Tech Reviews here, he has done it. He has recommended me to be looked at when Mark puts out that he wants to look at new channels to shop around for the next class to join Team Pixel. I've been recommended. I haven't got any emails, anything that's told me that I might be. I know what's his name? Technoid had done a video skit asking them why hasn't I been in there. So everyone knows that I love Pixels. I just really, really like the phones, and they account for it. So being able to have them now, being able to use them, I appreciate everything that it can do. And when you use something for a long time, you kind of get used to it. It becomes normal for you. So using something that's outside of it is like a refresher. It's like cleaning the palate. Right? If you want to taste the flavor of the dish you're eating, you drink a little bit of water to wash your palate, so your next bite is flavorful again, like your first bite was. And using something outside of it kind of awoke that again. Using the Pixel 6 yesterday, I was like super happy with it, man. Oh my god, it was like so cool. Using the AI features within the Pixel 6 was just like top notch in my book. Top notch. I was like, yeah. And for instance. So I took the train to the Smackdown event yesterday. I went to WWE Smackdown. It was an awesome show. I'll show you guys the shirt that I got from the event. But I did most of my stuff on Instagram just because I have a larger following on Instagram than I do Snapchat. And I can save the stories into a highlight and keep it for a long time. Right? On the Aloha Android Instagram, it has the highlight for the Royal Rumble 2 years ago. And was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? It was like 2 years ago. And then they have the SmackDown event. I actually went to Monday Night Raw too. I don't remember if I saved any Instagram posts from Monday Night Raw a few years ago, but I went with my brother to one. Anyways, so I took the Pixel 6 with me. The train was running late because, construction in downtown Phoenix. So we went around. Was that with John Cena? No, John Cena didn't celebrate at SmackDown. He did it on Raw, but he wasn't there tonight or last night. When I got off the train, because the train was running late, I needed to message my brother, but like my hands were full because, I had my phone in one hand, I had a bottle of water in the other hand because it was really hot outside, and I was like, make sure that I had the things that I needed to have. I didn't take too much with me because, you know, I didn't want security to say like, oh yeah, you can't bring that in. And I got to tell them like, hey, I took a train here, so I can't just like put it in a car. So I came with a little bit less, but still I had my hands full of things. And so instead of not being able to type to my brother, like where at the Footprint Arena are you exactly at, I'll use the voice to text option from Gboard. And it's so accurate. With all the city noise, like cars honking and the train bell, ding, 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 and the construction that was going on and everything, it was able to pick up my vocals so clear and basically type out all the words that I was saying. So, you know, it just made life much more easier. And then especially when I finally told just, you know what, like I told it to call my brother, and it did. And it was able for me to just, you know, hands-free a lot of things to allow me to get myself together. When I got there, taking pictures was amazing. What the Pixels have been known for, and did a very good job doing that with a lot of light obstructions and everything, because they have light shows inside there, right? Like the whole rig and everything that's set up. I mean, B-Tech knows what I'm talking about. He's been to a fair good amount of WWE events, so he knows inside the arenas how they have it set up. And the light shows, the displays, and the lights turn off, and, you know, for certain events and things like that that's going on in there. I mean, he knows how the light show goes. And then, of course, pyrotechnics and all that other stuff. So the cameras was doing a very good job taking photos and taking videos as well. And then using apps like Instagram, I was able to do a good job in recording those Instagram story clips. So that way, once I was done with the event, I could bind them all into a highlight that stays permanently on my Instagram profile for me to go back to and look at for nostalgic, you know, just to look at it. The event was actually really good. It was kind of funny because like my brother was the one who treated me to it, right? So he bought the tickets like months ago, and he was just like telling me like make sure that I can go with him. I'm like, okay, you know, I'll make sure I'll go with you. And so with that being said, you know, I went to the event, and I'm not somebody that expects a lot of things, right? So me and my brother, we go inside, and it was kind of bad too because he has Cricket Wireless, and I was telling him it's time to move away from Cricket because it took 5 minutes for the tickets to load on his phone. The reception for AT&T and Phoenix is bad, not how it used to be before. Like T-Mobile and Verizon have surpassed AT&T and have gone 10 steps ahead of them. Anyways, so he finally got the tickets. We went inside. He's like, he's gonna buy a shirt. He's like, do you want anything? I'm like, no. Like, you bought me a ticket to the event. That's good enough. And I thought we were in the nosebleed sections. We actually had pretty decent seats. So I'm like, no, you know, like you invited me to this. You paid for my ticket, dude. Like, no. He's like, do you want something to drink? I'm like, no, because I don't want to have to go to the bathroom through the event. So I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, we're okay. You know, I'll just wait. So he gets in line. He goes, get the shirt. Then he's like, he points to me. He's like, he's getting one too. And I'm like, oh, crap. And I'm looking. And I'm like, okay, well, I already know what I'm going to get because I seen it right off the hand. I'm like, okay. I told him, like, you know what? Like, okay, I'll get a shirt, size XL. You know, so I want it a little bit loose on me. And the shirt is H. So he goes, oh, can I get H and XL? And the guy goes and gets it. They happen to have it. So WWE goodie bag. Add the receipt just in case. But it's fine. I haven't decided to wear it yet. I'll probably wear it back to work. But acknowledge the bloodline. Because, yeah, if I was to join a faction, it would be the bloodline. For sure. Hang on one sec. I don't think it's going to reach, but one. Yeah, to grab my bottle of V-Juice. But yeah, that's a shirt that I got. So, with the bloodline. Yeah. So, at the arena that we were in section 102, row 16. So we weren't far away. We weren't on the floor, but we were just at the section above from floor seats. So we were at a really good distance. I thought it was a very good spot just because I know like when you go to these events, you're not going to sit down the entire time. Some people are going to stand up, and not everyone's built the same. So we're not all 5'5", Some people will be taller than me. So I felt like the seats my brother got were so amazing because being able to see the walk path to the ring, seeing the ring itself, and then the not the Titantron. Titantron is at the walkway path, but the screen above the ring, right? So it gave me the opportunity that if like people were standing up and I couldn't get my phone through them to get a photo or take an Instagram clip, I could just point my camera up to the screen above the ring to see what the cameramen are shooting, right? You'll see it. If you follow my personal Instagram, you will see how I did those shots and stuff like that. So I thought there were great seats and everything like that. It was pretty cool. It was good moments and stuff like that, given that. But yeah, so back to the story. So like, we bought the shirts and then we started to look for our section. And do you recommend formatting my SD card on the Revvl as internal memory? I would, but it depends on what type of SD card that you have, right? If you have one that has faster writable speeds, then yeah, go for it. You don't want to format something that has like a write speed of like 20 megabits, because that's not fast, right? Like even going above 100 megabits write speed is like, I would consider that to be like medium. So anything higher would be better. But yeah, if you have like a pretty fast SD card for write speeds, then yeah, you can bond that as internal storage for sure. So I think the Revvl V plus 5G has 64 gigs of storage only, so you can expand that and get more. But yeah, so we were trying to find our section. We were walking, and we found it. We found our row. And as we were walking to the section before we found our row, we heard fans screaming. We heard, the ring vibrations from like the slams and stuff like that. And I was like, "Oh, did it start?" And Ruben's like, "No, it might be a dark match." Dark matches, if you don't know, are matches that's not televised. So it didn't make it on SmackDown, but it was, at the live event. So we get there and then we find our row. I'm looking at the ring. I'm like, it started already, because it was a match, the Overtop Battle Royal between when I got there, it was just Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Happy Corbin, and I forgot who the other person was. No, it had the SmackDown banners on the side of the ring, so it wasn't a main event match. It was the Overtop Battle Royal where Happy Corbin won because he slid back into the ring behind Drew McIntyre, and while Drew was about to eliminate Sheamus, Happy grabbed Drew and threw him over along with Sheamus, so he eliminated both of them. It was that match. And then after that, we continued on watching the rest. So got to see, it was pretty cool seeing the 6-women tag match, right? So Asuka and what's her name? Alexa Bliss. And what the hell is the other girl's name? I keep forgetting her name. Liv Morgan, right? They took on Shotzi and Lacey Evans, and I forgot the other girl's name. There's like Raquel Rodriguez. That was a good match. That was a very good match. The whole thing was like pretty good. I wasn't really grading matches as to like how well they performed. I was just happy just to be there live to watch it go down. So I was like, oh, that was pretty awesome, And as a matter of fact, if you have a magnifying glass, you can find me at WWE Smackdown. Segments where the camera shoots the wrestlers when they win the match, and they're getting their hands raised, right? They're facing a certain direction, and they're always having to face a certain direction because that's where Vince wants them to face, or Stephanie wants them to face. Now that Vince is not really running shit now. So we're on the other side of the arena. So when they're raising their hand in victory, I'm seeing them from their back. So if you look at the screen and you go this way, go upward, you're going to see somebody holding a sign that acknowledges the bloodline. Below them is a person with a big green, like neon green sign, right? So if you go to that neon green sign visually and you go 4 rows up, You'll see a guy wearing a black shirt with like a white skull. You'll just see white print because it's not going to be zoomed in. But you see two guys that kind of look alike wearing black shirts with white print. That was me and my brother. That was where we sat. So I looked at it and I showed him on my phone, and I was like, if someone was to really focus, they could find us. If they focused. But it was like, yeah. So I mean, it was very interesting. It was a very, very good event. Raquel's where is from where you live. Nice. His name was Revvl, and Sammy's name was in the yeah. Well, you gotta remember, I came in right at when Happy Corbin was eliminating Drew McIntyre. So if Sami Zayn was there, he was probably already outside of the ring and probably on the ground. Like you have a bird's eye view from all the cameramen that are like, zoomed in, right? Being at a live event, you really see all the stuff that they do to kind of make this live televised event to make it work, right? Like the in-ring change is super freaking quick. Like when you guys are watching commercials, they're doing an in-ring change, right? So when they had like the Usos take the podium to have a talk off with the Street Profits, right? Like they literally changed that stage and had everything set up in 3 minutes or less. You got like 9 guys holding a giant rug, running to the ring, and they have all the lights turned down. They run to the ring, they slide it into the ring, then like 2 guys get in the ring from each side. They line up one edge of the mat, and then they roll it over, the ring to give it the black carpet look. They put the podiums up. They put the speakers podium up. They set up the mics and everything like that. So by the time that it comes back to live TV, everything is set up for the interview with the Usos and the Street Profits. Yeah, they work quick. Obviously, they get paid hella good to be hella fast. And if you're a slow person, you're not going to be working as a ring tech guy or gal because, yeah, they need stuff done because there's only a limit of commercials that the network is going to push before they cut back to the camera to being live. So there's a lot of things that you do that you see at a live event that you don't see on TV, obviously. One of the things is like, when those that lose a match, they don't get up right away to leave. They really kind of still play it off. Some people will. Some people will get up and make their way to the back. Other people will kind of sell that they're hurt a little bit longer, even though the match is over. And yeah, so if Matt Riddle and Sami Zayn was in there, I didn't see it because I came in late. And I did see the elimination by Corbin. And it was just so funny because then Corbin got put back in another 4-way match with Ezekiel, with The Miz, and what the hell's his name? With was it Madcap Moss? Which was pretty decent. That was pretty decent. I'll give it that. It was kind of entertaining. I thought the best part of that match I thought was funny was when I believe it was Madcap. He slingshotted the Miz right into Happy's nuts. It was so messed up. It was just so messed up. It was like, wow. And it's funny too because when you're at the live events, you hear audio from real reactions that you don't hear on the TV if you didn't know that, right? There are some things that WWE's little command truck controls for audio. The way that Corbin screamed sounded really hilarious when he got hit in the nuts with the Miz's face, and I was just like, oh, okay, and yeah, I've seen the highlight replay on YouTube for SmackDown, and he didn't have that stream that way. So they do kind of fudge the audio. It's really cool how they're able to fudge it in real time. That's like really cool how all their stuff works. Like I would love to have WWE's production crew and their equipment and everything to make YouTube videos. Imagine how this stuff would play out. Basically, Seth Rollins versus Riddle was a great match too as well. I just had a lot of fun with Seth Rollins. It was just so funny. It was just so super funny. Seth Rollins is one of those. I mean, he's one of my favorites right now currently in WWE. Seth Rollins is one of my favorites, regardless if he's a heel or he's a face. He's very, very changeable, and I love that about him. From where he was when the days of the Shield to after the Shield to being in his workhorse mode, alongside with Roman Reigns, to reuniting with the Shield. The Kingslayer version of himself when he was taking on Triple H. Like, you look at Seth Rollins and how he has transformed so much, and then look at what he is now. And yes, he's a heel, but go beyond that and look at his personality, the way that he kind of like walks and dances around the ring and everything like that. And he's so comfortable with it, and it's like I like this persona of Seth Rollins right now. When he was the Messiah, that was even more funnier. Seth Rollins, he's just awesome. So I had a lot of fun when it came out. He came out to his entrance music and his pyro, and man, I could feel the heat from the pyro. Like, my face still kind of feels a little tender. And we were sitting a good distance from it, and you could still feel that heat. So just imagine everybody at the foreground and what they felt when his pyro hit. And then my heart jumped a beat because, like, I saw Seth entrance with the pyro. I didn't think because I was busy uploading stuff. And then Revvl comes out, and I'm not thinking anything of it, but I forgot he has pyro as well. When he kicks his chanclas off, pop, because he wrestles barefooted, right? So Seth Rollins is my favorite, especially Becky Lynch. Are they your favorite because you know that they're together and they have a kid together? Becky Lynch was funny. Becky Lynch was hella funny. Oh my god. When she attacked Asuka at the end. She has that, when Becky's a heel, she has that face of like a little 11-year-old that's spoiled when she gets angry. So it's kind of funny to see that. Yeah, the only thing that was sad was, like, I was so in the fatal 4-way between Ezekiel and Miz and Corbin and Madcap. I was literally hoping either KO would come and interfere with Ezekiel, or Pat McAfee would interfere with Happy Corbin, or during the match between Rollins and Riddle, I was kind of hoping that Cody would make some sort of presence. But at the same time too, we kind of knew that there wasn't going to be any special interferences or anything like that. Only for the reason is because Money in the Bank is in Vegas, which I'm going to watch it. And so when the event was over, they had everything literally packed up as far as for the wrestlers to go. I know one truck stayed behind because they had to break down the set, which is not going to be broken down in 10 minutes. But yeah, literally after the Smackdown was over, like 15 minutes later, my brother and I grabbed something to eat, and we were looking. Out of the 5 trucks that was there, 4 of them took off already. One of them was still behind. So when my babe got off work and she was coming to pick us up because she got out later, we hung around downtown Phoenix for an hour and a half. So an hour and a half later, that last truck left. So they must have had everything broken down by then. But the first 4 trucks left after the event was over. And obviously they're heading to Vegas because that's where the other superstars are getting ready for Money in the Bank. So, I mean, it would have been great because I know there was one guy that was nearby me and my brother, and he was kind of bummed out. Brock Lesnar didn't show up. Roman Reigns was not on set. But that's because they're in Vegas. They're in Las Vegas right now. Yeah. So predictions. There was a guy that was sitting there. I was having a conversation with me and my brother. We were talking to him, and he told us, he was like, word through the grapevine is that Riddle is going to win Money in the Bank. Riddle is going to win it. Riddle's going to cash it in the same way that Seth Rollins did. He's going to wait for Roman and Brock to go at it, and he's going to cash it in the same way. I'm like, okay, well, we'll look to see that. We'll wait to see that. So it was a very, very good event at the end of the day. It very, very was. Okay. And so before I end this podcast, I just want to kind of dive into the Pixel 6a. The hype behind this phone is amazing, and I am super ready for it. We are 26 days away from the Pixel 6a. Before somebody corrects me and says July 21st, no, July 21st is day of pre-order. To actually buy one it's the 28th. So stores are going to carry them, from what I'm hearing. Stores will carry them. You'll be able to go in the store and get one, or you can order it from a carrier, or you can order it from Google. Either way, the Pixel 6a is coming, and I'm estimating around my birthday is when I'm going to buy one. And then I'll do my unboxing, I'll do my review. You hear my kids? They are Fortnite junkies. They're going bananas because they're playing Fortnite. Yeah, $449. They get the same price tag as the Pixel 5a, but yeah, they have the Google Tensor flagship chip. Yeah, it's really cool. And I'm happy they did that, and it makes sense to do that because then they won't have any backstock of the Tensor chips that were built for them. So they can already move on to Cloud Ripper, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Cloud Ripper is the Tensor 2. And they've already been working on that, and that's going to be coming on the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. And there is a third Pixel 7, or possibly the Pixel Fold. Other people are thinking it's the Pixel 7 Ultra. I don't know why. If Google does it, it's pretty stupid. It's like, you're for sure ripping on Samsung. We've been helping, you know? Like, you're becoming Samsung if you do that. There should not, in my humble opinion, there should not be a Pixel 7 Ultra. The Pixel 7 Pro is enough for a like top tier flagship. Okay, that Pixel Fold is what people are really interested in. They're wanting to know if it's going to function as good as the Galaxy Fold. So this third device better be that, or if it's a Pixel 7 Ultra, it's going to be in my opinion, the dumbest thing to ever come through. Will the Google flagship store in NYC carry the? Gene, ask yourself that question slowly. Will the Google flagship store carry the Pixel 6a? I mean, that's like asking if it will Apple carry the brand new iPhone 14. You know it, Gene. You know they carry it. Come on, man. You know they're gonna carry it, dude. It would be odd for them to not carry their own phone in store, because that's what the Google stores are in New York. But you know what they need, Gene? Since you brought that up, they need to build Google stores in major cities across the United States for this year and have them all open at the end of the year. We need a Google store here in Phoenix. We just need one. We have a lot of Apple stores here. Why can't we get one, you know? Big line that day. Yeah, it's going to be a very big line. Very big line because there are three things that people have complained about the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro that the Pixel 6a addresses. Okay. The obviously biggest one is size. So some people don't like the size of the Pixel 6. The Pixel 6 Pro is way bigger for them. They want something smaller. The 6a is touching right around the Pixel 5's size. If you look at the dimensions, it's slightly taller than it, but I think they are testing they're not testing anything in New York. Those are open. They're going to stay open. Oh, you think they're testing the Pixel 6a in New York? I don't think they're going to be like. No. Workers at the Google store are not going to have access to the 6a like that. They'll probably have it back there. They can look at it, but they can't like take it out. But yeah, so size of the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro is one of the reasons why people are interested in the Pixel 6a, because it's a smaller form factor. There is a slight issue with the 50 megapixel camera sensor on the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pros when it comes to close-up focusing. So there are people who are actually quite happy to be using an older camera sensor that has been around in the Google Pixel phone since the Pixel 3, which is the Sony IMX363. So having that 12.2 megapixel sensor on the back with the Pixel 6a is something that people are looking forward to. The fact that it has a Tensor chip, is something that people are like, okay, I don't have to spend $599 on the Pixel 6. I don't have to spend $899 on the 6 Pro. I can spend $449 and have a pretty much enriched similar experience. Oh yeah, the stores are not a new concept. They're just new for Google, right? Like having, Samsung had their stores, which are not really stores. They're like micro stores inside of Best Buy. Unless, not all Best Buys have them. I know the ones here in Phoenix, they have them. I know Apple's had their stores for the longest time, and it's time for Google to kind of do the same. So it's not really a concept. because they're not doing anything different than Apple and other brands are doing. They're not doing anything different from them. But it is new. And like I said, they need to open one in every major city in the United States this year. They can do it. Alphabet Inc. is net worth in billions. They have billions of dollars. They can open up Google stores in major cities. And they need to, because we need one here. Like, I swear at anyone on this, right? If they open a Google store here in my city and they were hiring for people, I would pick up a second job at the Google store. I'll work nights. I'll work mornings for where I'm working at right now, and then I'll work at the Google store at night until close. And yeah, I'll just be happy because I'll be in there working it. Samsung has an experience store in Houston and in California. They have a micro store inside of Best Buy here. That's where you live. Sorry if I'm coughing a lot. I'm trying to vape, but at the same time too, I'm coughing because of all the yelling yesterday. My lungs are blown out. So every time I vape, it feels itchy and I cough. So I'm just like, it's like you should put it down, but addictions are bad, right? So yeah, we definitely need some Google stores also. Definitely. I think the most interesting thing for me about the Pixel 6a is just the size of it. For me, like the Pixel 6 is nice, but I consider this an XL model. This is big for me. I'm a small person. If you didn't know, I'm like 5'4", 5'5", and I got small hands. So this right here is like the XL for me. Something that I would consider a manageable size for me is something of this size, the Pixel 4, right? So I'll hold them both up. Wait. You can see the size difference in them. Yeah, so the 6a should be about the width of the Pixel 4, but probably about that much taller, but not drastically, not as big as the Pixel 6. And that's something that I'm looking forward to when it comes to the Pixel 6a. I should also feel like that a lot of the bugs the 6 and 6 Pro had faced at launch with some of them, because I didn't have a lot of the bugs that people were reporting. I had maybe about 1 or 2 of them, and I didn't have to live with them very long because security update came and fixed it. So I was lucky. But yeah, a lot of those issues that people are worried about have been ironed out with every iteration of a security patch that was given to the 6 and 6 Pro. So those same fixes are already in line for the 6a. And what I mean by that is that when you get the phone, you may have a software update waiting for you. May have it. May not. It may already have been cured of those bugs already. So the chances of it likely having the exact same bugs as the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro at day of launch last year for them, no. They've already addressed those bug issues and have fixed it, and so therefore it's not going to plague the 6a. Will there be new bugs that might come with a 6a? Probably. Very small. The A series has done very well at launch, so I don't really forecast any super major issues with it. The one question that I've been getting a lot of is that do I think the cameras are going to overheat like they've done on the Pixel 5a? Probably because it's using the same chip. When it comes to, well, not the same chip, sorry. Probably, but not for sure. Because there is heating issues people are reporting with the Pixel 6 when recording video in 4K 60 frame, I believe is what they said, or 4K 30, I think it was. But in a higher resolution, the phone heats up and then the camera shuts down. That could also plague the 6a. But as far as the 5a, let me retract my statement. The 5a, no. Not going to have it exactly like that. The 5a's problem and why it overheated so fast is where the processor chip sat close to and how crowded it is. If you take apart a Pixel 5a and you look at like the motherboard and everything, or logic board, if you look at everything when it comes to that, you'll see how crammed it is in there with the bigger battery, and then how much space is left to ventilate or allow ventilation of that 765G chip. So with that, yeah, the phone is going to overheat pretty quickly, especially in a higher resolution recording. What I've always told people, I've recorded videos just fine in 1080p. I know people are like, well, I want my video in 4K. I'm like the next George Lucas. Okay, got you. Go ahead, shoot your Star Wars. 1080p has always been fine for me. A lot of my YouTube videos are shot in 1080p. They're rendered in 1080p or in 720p. If you didn't know that, they are. They're shot with Google Pixel phones, and any one of them. The most that I've used to record video has been the 4. I've been using the 4 like a camcorder, and but like the 6 records video, the 2XL records video for me, and I do my editing and all the other stuff. So yeah, they did pretty good on it. In 1080p or in 720. But like, yeah, if you absolutely have to record in 4K, just understand there's limitations to 4K recording, especially at 60 frames per second, and just know that it's going to happen. And Google Pixels are not the only devices to overheat in recording in 4K. Let me just kind of point that out. People are going to be like, oh, well, the phone could do it. Yeah, the phone could do it. And some of them overheat too as well. There is a shorter time frame or time shot with 4K video too as well. So it's not like you could record a half-hour video in 4K 60 frames. It will cut up that half-hour video into segments. It just does that. So, but anyhow, thank you guys for joining in today's podcast. Let me know what you guys think. If you're watching the replay, #replay crew. If you are not a member, I would suggest becoming one. The smallest tier is 99 cents. I'll probably edit that today, and that will be the only tier of being a member, is a 99-cent tier. And you'll get access to this evening's live stream that is members only. You don't want to miss that. Live stream tomorrow with me and B-Tech Reviews. We're going to go over our decade on YouTube as content creators with the various different things we've done here on YouTube and how we've changed. And we'll probably do like a pick 3 type of thing. He'll pick 3 of his past videos. I'll pick 3 of mine. We'll watch and react to it and cringe at the stuff that I do, at least. I think I'm pretty cringy. But that is it. That is it for now. If you guys want, if you guys still support me in becoming part of Team Pixel, you guys want Team Pixel to find me, #Tito for Team Pixel. So that's Tito, number 4, Team Pixel. Put that, shout outs to Google for never finding me. Man, I just feel bad because I feel like it's a letdown when B-Tech and Gene and Technoid and Sneed, when they're rallying for me to be discovered by Team Pixel and it doesn't happen. I feel like I let them down. Maybe there was something I was supposed to do to be able to get their attention, so then that way I can be a part of it. But either way, I mean, I buy the Google Pixel phones and I enjoy using them. So, and I feel like some people feel like it's much more genuine when I buy it out of my own pocket money rather than getting it from a company. So that's what it is. But anyways, if you guys want to be part of Team Pixel, #Tito for Team Pixel. I appreciate you guys doing that. Do that on Twitter and such. But until then, I'll see you guys later on this evening for the members live stream. For those that want to see the nostalgic, over decade discussion, I'll tweet that out tomorrow, several hours before we do it. You guys don't want to miss it. One day, bro, you will be eventually. I love Mike's positivity right there. And yeah, when it happens, it happens. And if it never happens, it's okay still. I'm not gonna die without it. And those that are part of it, like you, Sneed, Ladies Red, Paul Tech. Now, I don't know if you guys know, Paul Tech is part of Team Pixel as well. He's just not very vocal about it, but shouts out to Paul Tech. I'm still going to be supporting you guys and making sure that you guys don't lose your spot. So, all right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for watching.